Yes everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all well. So we're back again and we're going to be doing Sunday's matches and going through what I think will happen and my betting tip for each game. Now I do have another video for Saturday's games for the 28th. I'll put the link up here somewhere. So if it's not Saturday yet and you want to know them games, click that, watch that, and then come back to this one because this is for Sunday's games. Just a quick note guys, as I mentioned in my other video, my eye was getting all itchy and shitty in this cold weather, but I've got proper drops now, so it's on the mend. It's on the mend. So this Sunday we have 5 games, which is, that's a fair amount for a Sunday. So let's dive straight in, no messing around, and we start off with West Ham versus Everton. Now, West Ham are doing pretty good this year. We're doing pretty well. I know we got thrashed by Villa 4-1 last week. But you know what? I don't think the game deserved to be 4-1. I know we were bad, but we weren't that bad. Now, we are very good in front of goal. We score a lot of goals, to be fair. We have scored in every single game this season, and that includes all cup games. So we scored in every game. That's about 14 matches, I think. That's pretty crazy. The only thing is we concede a lot, so it's not that great. So our tactic basically is we have to score goals to win, because if we rely on our defence and we only score the 1 goal, it's not going to happen. We always concede. So yeah, we're all about attack. We've got to score goals. And Everton are kind of in a similar boat. They don't have too many issues scoring goals, but again, they have a leaky defence as well. Very leaky. I will say West Ham are very strong at home. We've only lost 1 game, and that was against Man City. And if you look at Everton's away form, they're not bad at all. If you include their away game to Villa, which was a cup game, they have only lost 2 out of the last 6. Head to head, Everton are actually a bit of a bogey team for West Ham. They've won 17 times. West Ham have only won 7, and we've had 9 draws. And out of the 33 games they've played each other, 27 have ended in over 2.5 goals, and 16, which isn't that much, ended in over 2.5. So with all this in mind, with West Ham scoring but conceding and Everton doing the same, I can see goals, and I do think both teams will score, and the odds of that are 1.6. Okay, so now we go on to Brighton versus Fulham. Brighton's form is it's a bit off at the moment. They've not won in 5 games, but they have had tough opponents. They've had City, they've had Liverpool, they've had Marseille, they've had Villa, they've had Chelsea. So they've had a tough run. And it's same with Fulham in terms of their away opponents. They had their first away game to Everton, which they've won. However, since then they've had 2 losses and 2 draws. The draws were against Palace and Arsenal, and the losses were to Spurs and City. So they have had tough games. Brighton are very good at scoring goals at home. On average this season they've scored 2.6 goals. Fulham are not so good defensively away from home, and they concede an average of 1.8 goals at the moment this season. So with this in mind, we're going with over 2.5 goals, and the odds of this are 1.44. We have a few more games to go through. Before we do, I just wanted to mention my free Telegram group. It's completely free, link in the description. I'll give you betting insights. The one most recently was Southampton versus Preston. I mentioned that they both score goals, they both concede. There should be a lot of action. I did say before the match that I do think Southampton might edge it, but to give it 10-15 minutes and see how the game flows and make a decision. Once it did kick off, I did say, Southampton are holding more of the ball, but they're not doing much with it, and Preston are attacking. They look a lot more better on the counter, and it was very hard to call in terms of wins. So I said, there's a lot of action, there should be goals, and the game ended 2-2. So a lot of guys in there want some money. So yeah, if you want to get involved, the link is in the description. Okay, next we move on to Aston Villa versus Luton. Now Villa are having a great season. They just thrashed us 4-1. Luton's away form has improved. They haven't lost in 2. They had a game against Forest, which they drew, and they also beat Everton. So Villa are very strong at home. They've won every Prem game. They've also won every Europa game at home, and they only have the 1 loss, and that was in the Carabao Cup. Luton concede on average 2.2 goals away from home, and Villa's average scored at home is 4.25. So yeah, there's going to be goals. So for this one, I've put an Aston Villa win, but they also have a -1 handicap. So they've got to win by 2 or more goals, and that gives odds of 1.73. Next, we have Liverpool versus Forest. Liverpool are smashing at home, winning every single game, including cup games, and all these games they've won by 2 or more goals. Forest have only won 1 away game, but that was against Chelsea. They've had tough away games. They've had Arsenal, Man U, Man City, and their most recent away game was a draw to Crystal Palace. Now, Forest played well against Liverpool in this fixture last year at Anfield. The score was 3-2 to Liverpool, so yeah, it was pretty close. However, with Liverpool winning every game this year by 2 or more goals, I think they're going to continue the trend with this one. So a Liverpool win with a -1 handicap, and the odds are 1.73. Now we go into the most tasty game of the Sunday, which is Man U versus Man City. Now Man U, they've won their last 3 games. However, you could say they were pretty lucky. They've scored late goals in the Brentford game to win it. They struggled to beat Sheffield, and they were outplayed by Copenhagen in Europe. They did win it, but you know, Copenhagen played well, to be fair. They should have won it, you could say. Man City are a little bit rocky compared to their usual standards. They've had a loss to Arsenal. They nearly got a draw against Brighton when they were playing at home. And they lost to Wolves in September. Now, this result last year at Old Trafford, Man U actually beat City 2-1. And this is where it gets interesting. So head-to-head is close. So Man United have 19 wins and City have 20 wins with 4 draws. So if Man United can get the win on Sunday, that makes it 20 wins each. In their last 4 head-to-heads, every single one of them have had both teams scoring, and they've ended in over 2.5 goals. So with that in mind, for this match, I'm going with over 2.5 goals with odds of 1.65. So as always, I've put all these selections into an accumulator, and the odds are 11, 22. So £10 returns £112, 17p. And what I do recommend is, if you decide to do this, just use small stakes only, or even better, if you have a free bet in your account, use it for this. If you want to do a proper bet for Sunday, I would personally choose 2 selections out of this, which you think are likely to happen. Do some further research and then do a double, and that will return over double your money. And what I'll also do for you guys, if you join the free Telegram account or you're already in there, on Sunday I will post my 2 favourite selections from this, and I'll let you guys know what double I'm doing. When we done this last week, it won with odds of 2.66. So yeah, make sure you're in there. So there we go, guys. That's this week's video. Comment below what you think of these selections. Let me know of any bets you're going to do this weekend. If you're into football betting, you're in the right place. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Peace.